All right, now we've covered the first basic display options, display size, use, and placement. And I just want to review here to make sure you understand how everything works. So what I've done, I've created a page here that has 4 content elements in it. I have a CSV element that I'm using for my table. I have an HTML element that I am using for just some text. I have a picture element that I'm using for a blue picture, and I have another HTML element. All right? And what I'm going to do is I want to position this table to the left of this text, and I want to position this picture to the right of this text. All right? And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to edit the page, and I'm going to change some of my display options. So the first display option I'm going to modify is for the CSV table. And it's on here that I'm going to set this item to float to the left, and I'm going to set its width to 329 pixels, and that just happens again to be half the width of the content body of my page. And then I'm going to leave the HTML element alone, but I'll review it again just so you know what it is. This element's inline and left. Okay, so it's going to display inline on the page, take up 100% of the width of the body of the page, and then if there is an element floating above it, which in this case I do, I have a content or CSV element directly before it, it's going to wrap that content. And then this picture element, I'm going to float it this time to the right, and its width is already set to 329 pixels. Again, pictures are different in that they always have a width and height assigned to them. Okay? And then the last element is my other text element, and again, this one is going to be set to inline left. All right. So when I save my changes, I now have my table positioned to the left of this text element, which is wrapping around it, and I have my picture floating to the right of the second text element. All right. And then just the last thing, if for some reason I decided that I didn't want this text to wrap around this picture, there are other layouts that we could use, but I could also just edit this item, change my picture element, and set it from float to inline. Alright? And when I save this, the picture will be floating to the right, but the next paragraph of text is going to be after that picture. Alright, and the last thing that we talked about was referenced elements. So say this picture needs to be embedded in this element of text or the one after it, but not floating left or right. That's when you would use a referenced element. So to set a referenced element, you can edit the page, change the use on the picture from inline to reference, which is going to make it disappear. And when I save my changes, the picture is no longer there. Now I have to do an embedded image in this section of text, and to do that, I can go inspect this HTML element, and then you're using the editor at this point, and you might go and say you want to put the picture right here, and you're going to create a picture element. And now that I have a picture element placeholder, I have a picture on my page, but it's referenced. The only way it's going to show up on the page is if it's referenced through another HTML element. I'm going to paste it into my picture element here, and when I save my changes, I will see my picture displayed in this text. Okay? So that's how that works. Simple and easy.